All right, welcome back, guys, to another edition of the Mostly Movies podcast with Nick and Christian. He's Nick, I'm Christian, and today we are going to be breaking down Flight Risk. If you couldn't tell already by our lovely caps here that we got from the early premiere. Before we get into all that, guys, please head over to thescreengods.com for all of Nick's latest movie reviews and all of our older and latest podcasts, I should say. And then head over, as always, to the YouTube, Twitter, which is now, if you go over there, big announcement here. There's a tweet. The first tweet has been fired off from the official Screen Gods Twitter.
And where can they follow us at?
At the Screen Gods.
On X at the Screen Gods.
X, formerly known as Twitter.
Formerly known as
Twitter. And then
Twitter,
Spotify, Instagram, all that good stuff, guys. Buddy, I'm loving this hat.
Mark Bahldberg. Mark Bahldberg, folks. Make it happen. I want to see it trending.
This is your first name change.
This is my first name change, and I'm proud of it because I'm sure I'm not the first one to do it, but I'm the first one to see it in terms of like I posted it, and when I hashtagged it, there was less than 100 posts with it. So, I feel good about that.
So there was at least 100 posts. Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess, but there's 7 million people in the U.S. Or in the state. It's pretty good,
First off, that doesn't work for any of it. It doesn't work for the U.S. and it doesn't work for the state.
I think it does. I think there's how many people in California? I think there's 8 million. Let's see how many people in California.
No, dude, there's 7 million in. There's 7 million in LA. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, 39 million in California. All right, maybe just this greater Sacramento area. Anyway,
I fucking love it. Yeah. So Flight Risk. We were lucky enough to get an early screening. And by early, I mean 1 day earlier, because I think it comes
2 days. 2 days. Comes out on Friday.
No, I bet you there's showtimes tonight. I bet you there's probably one or whatever. But
we don't care about those 1 day.
Either way, they're not getting the cool. Hopefully, they're not getting the cool headgear. Hopefully, this is exclusive. I'm going to be sad if I see other people with it.
My goal is simply that we're the only podcast people with this bald cap on. That would be huge just to have that.
Yeah.
Bahldberg, baby. Bahldberg.
I'm like now tempted to kind of rob a bank now that I have some sort of like disguise.
It's about to be Point Break.
I have like 1/6 of a disguise and I'm ready to fucking use it.
Y'all need a pilot?
So anyways, we got to the early screening. They were handing these bad boys out and we obviously had to scoop some of those up. So update from, I believe it was last weekend, we were talking, I think we were in a fiery debate about trailer length. And I gotta say, you've been vindicated because there was literally only 2 previews last night.
Yeah, it was not so much a debate, or it was about being late and my paranoia about being late, and you were like, it seems irrational because it's always 15 minutes previews, and I had mentioned in our last pod that I've missed the beginning of 2 movies in the last quarter alone.
Yeah, but you had a bad example though. Saw the re-release
only one.
of Saw is
only one was a bad example, but either way, I've seen Goonies re-released on the 35th anniversary edition and still had freaking previews, so who knows? But bottom line is, Christian got to experience it. There was exactly 1 preview.
2 previews. There was 2.
2, but to your point about it matters and what we're seeing, because this was an early advanced private screening, basically. So same kind of thing, right? It's like not a normal release, so we got that benefit.
Yeah, this thing is itchy as hell already. I look like Spock.
So let's talk about Flight Risk, because we're going to be one of the... Go ahead.
Sorry, I just thought it was funny that we were just discussing that, and then there was literally 2 trailers.
No, it's 7:34. The movie started, again, and I looked at Christian. I said,
"Special occasion."
I told you. I was really hoping that you went to the bathroom and missed it, because Christian normally does a last-minute dash to the bathroom. It's kind of his thing, also his girl's thing, and this time he settled in. But my wife, who went with us, she's actually the one who kind of got us the tickets here. She went to the bathroom and nearly missed it, because of the preview thing. So, yeah, I was hoping someone would miss the beginning just so I could be like, ha-ha!
Yeah. No.
Anyway, Well, I was going to say, let's get into the movie because this is one of the, other than Gladiator that we saw the day before, this is the first, like, there's only like 16 people in this theater, and we got the promo hats, and like, so it was pretty cool to be in advance. But not everyone probably has seen the movie yet, so this is one of our earliest like pods on, like, we've seen the movie, sooner than most. So let's get into it and talk a little bit about what this is. I mean, it stars obviously Mark Bahldberg. I don't know who the girl is. Topher Grace, and directed by Mel Gibson. Those are the big names.
Yeah, so we're gonna get into her, but so
all right, let's do it.
Basic premise is the movie opens with Topher Grace, who is a money manager, money mover for the mob, and he's hiding out in Alaska. Apparently, we don't really know why at that point. Anyways, he gets caught by the main character. I don't even know her name. I've never even seen this lady in my entire life in any movie. And she plays like the lead cop or whatever. I forget what organization she works for. But
it's FBI.
She's FBI. Okay, she's an FBI agent. She's been tracking this guy down. They finally catch him, and they turn him state's witness. And so basically, they have to transport him from this rural town in bumfuck Alaska to get him to testify in court against the mob. And when I tell you that's the whole movie, that's the entire fucking movie, guys. Holy hell, dude. The fact that this is a Mel Gibson movie,
crazy.
Definitely, I mean, it's got to be his worst by far. There's not a lot on the bone here. So basically, they show up to the airport, Topher Grace and the FBI agent, and obviously Mark Wahlberg. And I mean, literally in the trailers, it gave you everything you need to know. He obviously switched places with the pilot, and they obviously end up getting into a fight midair. But there's really not. They really subdue Mark Wahlberg like immediately, basically. And he's basically subdued the entire movie except for like one other time. And that's basically it. They land the spoiler alert. But here's the issue. So they don't give you any backstory into really who Topher Grace is, or they don't even show you the main mobster. And the other thing too is another cheesy ass plot point is the mob, you end up finding out, is involved with a senator or something like that in the government, or I think in the FBI, a high ranking.
No, he's the direct. He's like the one of the director of the FBI or something. But they don't even really clarify his role either. He's just one level above her boss. He could be any position really.
Right, and so that's and I'm not even going to call that a twist, obviously, because obviously. No. So that was the only, I guess you could even say, interesting plot point. But I mean, I can't even say that. And yeah, so she finds out that she can't obviously trust whoever she's talking to. And I don't really like these. I need a lot of set pieces in my movies. I don't like one central scene, really. There was Buried with Ryan Reynolds, which I remember. Have you seen this movie, Buried?
No, I have not seen that.
So it's just Ryan Reynolds in a fucking box for an hour.
That sounds terrible. No.
Dude, I was so hyped to go see that movie. I remember I was living in Seattle, and I think I drove. It was playing at like one theater, and it was like 45 minutes away, and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do it. And I made the trek out there.
Wow.
And boy, was that a mistake.
Was that a mistake?
It's just Ryan Reynolds in a fucking box. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of movies where there's really only one set piece for an hour, 20 minutes. And especially when you can take the whole movie at face value. There's no layers to this movie. There's really, I don't know when it ended, and it ended abruptly too, which I mean was fitting and I thought was hilarious, but
yeah,
pretty brutal. It wasn't even that entertaining. I gotta be honest. I don't know how you feel, but yeah.
All right, so
give me your thoughts.
Breakdown. So there's a couple of things I will add in that he didn't quite cover. Overall, that is the basic. I mean, the plot is that they try to do very weak character development for the actress, which, by the way, her name is Michelle Dockery, and the reason we don't know who she is because she's another English actress, and she's from Downton Abbey. That's where she's from. So that's something you and I would never watch, probably. So
yeah, she should stay down there.
So they try to do very weak character development with her. and this is the part that you didn't touch on, but like she's put on this mission because she had like a bad experience with another witness that she reeled in, or something.
Someone died in her custody, of course.
Died in her custody, which is like the weakest reasoning for her to be suspended anyway. Like she broke protocol by letting a witness shower or something just so ridiculously dumb.
Yeah, because you gotta think like that's occupational hazard in her job.
Yeah, like,
you know what
the whole
I mean?
thing
Like,
is
that's
so
like breaking here. It's like getting injured in football. It's like, yeah, that's another Sunday, babe.
Right, yeah. I mean, so anyway, there's no character development of any kind. They try to do very light things like, and I'm going to get into Mark Wahlberg because what's crazy is the bald cap and Mark Wahlberg's performance in any other scenario would probably be the worst part of any movie. And in this movie, my feeling is, wow, they really wasted his potential, because I actually think he did a good job. This is my take. Well, I got a lot of takeaways about the movie. So Christian went through the plot. There's not a lot to it. We're going to rip this thing apart in the next 8 to 10 minutes.
It is a giant piece of dog shit, guys.
It is. It's just not good. I actually posted on our Facebook account and on Instagram and stuff that I had fun almost because it was so bad. And because you're watching and you just can't believe, as you said, as Christian said, you can't believe this is a Mel Gibson movie, which I thought was hilarious. Right before they started the movie, they have on the screen, because this is a VIP screening, they have the flight risk. It's just a stationary screen of the movie poster, which it's not a moving trailer or anything. It's just that. And as you're coming into the theater, it's got flight risk on the screen and everything. And instead of saying directed by Mel Gibson, it says from the award-winning director of Hacksaw Ridge, Braveheart, and some other Mel Gibson movie. And me and Christian are looking, I'm like, this is a Mel Gibson movie? And they don't even put his name in there. And now that I've seen it, I know why. They didn't want his name on it after the final cut. He's like, no, don't put that there. Yeah. Just terrible.
He was like, don't put that out.
He's like, and the studio's like, sorry, Mel, we greenlit this bad boy, dude. We got to go. But let me just say this about Mark Wahlberg. So, like I said, in any other scenario, his dumb hair bald cap thing and his character would have probably been the worst part. But I actually think the movie was so poor that it kind of just made his performance. This is my opinion. This is purely opinion. It made his performance look stupid, because the movie was stupid. But when I isolated on just Mark Wahlberg and his character, there were times I was like, I could see you pulling this off if it was just a way better movie. Like he was supposed to be kind of a salivating, kind of creepy mercenary kind of thing. Like, and there were a couple of lines that he said that I kind of feel like were Mark Wahlberg lines. Like, they weren't written. I think he probably had influence on it. that were just like kind of creepy, but because the movie was just so weak, it just didn't work. And I think like they wasted it. And my point being is that at one point in the movie, again, they did like very light character backfills or I'm not even gonna call it character development, trying to give you some substance to some depth to the characters, but it was so weak in almost every scenario. With the Mark Wahlberg character, they tried to do this thing where her boss is on the phone where he can't hear her talking to the boss, and the boss says, "Hey, by the way, they found the original pilot, torn to shreds and like his eyeballs out, and like this very gruesome kind of serial killer-esque sadistic thing." Which, if it was made that way, if it was a dark movie, I think he could have pulled it off, but it just wasn't. So I actually was like, wow, I really thought the bald cap and the Mark Wahlberg thing was going to be the worst part. And then instead I walked away going, I actually think he could have done something here, but the movie was trash. So anyway, that was my, I kind of hoped that he would try it again or gets another shot at doing something like that, which a lot of people don't know this. You probably do, but I want to say that his first venture into film was the movie Fear with Reese Witherspoon. and he played a abusive, sexual harassing type of boyfriend. That was like his very first role, and he did that well. It's only recently where he was doing the whole action and the comedy stuff. That's not even where he started. So I know he has the ability. So anyway, but yeah, it's a terrible.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, so I'll just get my final thought. And if it's along with what Christian said about the whole set piece thing, I came into the office today and people asked me how it was, and I said, this is my takeaway. I think they filmed that whole movie in 3.5 days. There's one set, terrible CGI. Oh, they're going to be starting on the CGI. They had a CGI moose in the opening scene that was the worst CGI moose I've ever seen. It looked like the Polar Express was it's like a cartoon moose that was we were supposed to believe it was real for a second. It's just terrible. But that's how bad it looked. It looked like they filmed it all in 3 days. They were like, Topher, come in, read your lines. Thanks. See ya.
It seemed like from the inception of the idea to the completion of shooting was 3 days.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like
from the moment the idea popped into Mel Gibson's brain to when it finally wrapped was 72 hours at most.
Like they were filming a different movie with all the same actors on the set, and he's like, guys, can we just do a side project real quick? Just come over to this set with this airplane. I want to film this mini movie.
Yeah, none of it made any sense. But so, especially what's the main actress's name again?
Michelle Dockery.
Michelle Dockery. So, in order for this movie to work on any level at all, her character has to be likable. Because she's
100%.
That's the only scene. Like the whole movie hinges on that character, which that's how they wrote it. That was the point. So you, for the movie to work on any level, that whoever they picked to do that role had to be top tier. And holy shit, I mean, I didn't give a fuck what happened to any of them. And again, that goes to the character development too, because you have no idea, like, why is Mark Wahlberg nuts? Why is he so crazy? You don't know any of those things. So you
barely find out he's even crazy. You barely even find that out.
That's the only tidbit when they're like, he ripped some guy's eyeballs out and you're like, all right. So yeah, they didn't. And also why he was just like, he was so crazy. He's like, I'm just ready to die. Like, why is he just like ready to die? None of that made any sense. And then for her character, there's a point at the beginning where the plane goes into a full nosedive and she miraculously pulls them out of a full nosedive, which was pretty rad, I guess, which was like one of the only few action scenes. So yeah, they completely blew it with the casting choice for sure. Because I didn't care for Topher. Topher Grace was the best part of the movie, I think, by far. Wahlberg was cool.
I have a hot take on the best part of the movie.
Was it the guy she was talking to?
Yeah, it's the pilot, the jokes that he was making that got to keep her at ease. There's this Indian guy navigating her on how to fly the plane, and he was making jokes and stuff, and it was actually pretty funny. And there were little elements to that, like I said, things like that would just pop in, like, okay, that's fun. And then there were, like you said, Topher Grace, there was elements of things that he would do that, okay, that's fun. But the movie was dog shit. So you're kind of just like, all right, But yeah, I totally agree. Like, I didn't really think about it the way you said it until now, but you're right. She's not likable. And for half the movie, Topher Grace's character isn't likable. He's obnoxious and annoying. It gets better towards the end. But when you said that character has to work, I immediately was like, okay, plop anyone else. Pick an actress.
Yeah.
Let's take Emilia Clarke. Put her in there.
Easy.
Yeah, like the movie's still not good, but it's way better. What's her name? Emily Blunt. Put her in there.
Perfect.
And the movie is instantly, instead of a 2 out of 5, it's a 2.5. Now it's not a lot better, but it's better.
But
so you're right. You're totally right about that.
And then you realize like why none of them did the movie, because they took one look at that script and said, get this the fuck out of my face right now.
Which I have to look into the details.
Marky Mark though. Marky Mark's down for whatever, dude. He's down to clown.
Well, he's just at a point. I think he was. I really do think he was like, I get to just be this. We've talked a lot about passion projects on this pod. This feels like no one's giving me a shot, Mel. I want to play a sadistic creep. All right, I got something for you.
With zero depth at all. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm wanting to see. Oh, I'm sorry. She wasn't FBI. That's a total miss by me.
She's one of the alphabet agencies.
She's a U.S. Marshal. She's a U.S. Marshal.
Yeah. Made up. Yeah. That's a made up thing.
No, it's not made up. That's a real thing.
What do the fucking U.S. Marshals do, bro? That's made up. You always hear about
You've never seen the movie U.S. Marshals? Whoa, you got to do that. Starring Wesley Pipes and Tommy Lee Jones. Great freaking movie. So good.
And
called U.S. Marshals.
Isn't Harrison Ford in that?
No, you're thinking about The Fugitive. Different things.
Yeah. Okay, but you've never seen a U.S. Marshal in your life, and there hasn't been a movie about the U.S. Marshals since that movie.
Well, that might be true, but that's not the here or there. It is a real thing.
Anyways, that makes the
so far on Rotten Tomatoes, it is getting a 26%. It is absolutely terrible, but it was fun for me. I want to reiterate, I had fun. I wasn't like, well, I mean, you can make an argument that it was a waste of an hour and a half, but there was a lot of laughable things about it. It was so bad that I kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't get bored. Also, can I say that? I didn't get bored at any point.
Yeah. You're allowed to say whatever you want. It's our pod.
Even though I knew you know what else is funny too? Like when she, I guess, realizes that there's a mole and that she's been duped, and you're just like, yeah, no fucking shit, dude. Like, there's no misdirection in this movie at all. It's just literally, it's so straightforward. That's what really was funny to me, how straight fucking forward it was. And then it just ended. They're like, yeah, that's it. You're like, all right, dude. You know, it's the concept of like corruption in the U.S. Marshals is hilarious. Who gives a shit? There's high level corruption in the U.S. Marshals. Like, yeah, I mean, legitimately, like Topher Grace's character, all he did, he was an accountant. Like, he really didn't do anything that fucked up.
He was just he was skimming money from the mob boss. But
yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
No, but then they don't introduce you to the mob boss ever, which I thought was also fucking funny. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna not cast that. Like, we don't need it.
You don't see the mob boss, and you don't even see her boss, who was being paid off by the mob. You don't see either of them, which is
was she in on it, or she got killed? She
got killed. Coleridge, which is the U.S. Marshal's big shot, who was taking payments from the mob, he had her killed. And again, you can see it coming a mile away. I mean, if nothing else, you guys should don't go see it. Don't go pay to see this in theater. But when it comes out, watch it, and just so you can see how vanilla, it's like watching an NFL game where there's like no creative plays at all. That's what it's like. So I'm just watching two guys just run up the middle, like over and over and over. It's like, here comes another run up the gut. Like, it's just it's no creativity at all, other than, like I said, the jokes by the Hassan, who is the flight navigator for her. That's the only creativity that came up, and maybe a little bit of vamping from Topher Grace. By the way, I just discovered this. Her boss, the one that ends up getting killed, the voice, I was like, that voice sounds familiar, but I can't place it. That voice is Leah Remini, is her boss. Random.
Wow.
Very, very random. Yeah. That's the only other name I can even come up with out of all the names in this the casting.
They probably might have filmed this in like one day.
That's
I mean, Mark Wahlberg's part, he probably could have filmed in 2 hours.
I mean, there was some physical things he had to do, and there's some makeup and things like that needed to happen. But yeah, I think it's a week. I think the whole thing is wrapped up in a week. Like, crazy.
Yeah, and like the idea that they're fighting in this tiny ass plane was also really funny too. Like, the size of the plane keeps changing throughout the movie.
Yeah.
to suit whatever they're trying to do with it.
It was fun. And then it's bad while you're watching it, but then upon reflection, when you sleep on it, you go, wow, that was really bad. And then you wake up and you realize, holy cow, I can't believe that was a Mel Gibson movie, and what was that? So,
Flight Risk. It was the perfect January movie. Like, January used to be notoriously known as like basically the shit month of the year for movies. They're just dumping shit out. But now, I mean, you can find a shit movie any month of the year. They're handing them out year round these days.
Yeah, it's year round. Yeah.
When we because the Oscars are coming up, so I've figured we would go over some of those movies, and you look around and you go, it's not many good ones these days.
Well, let's we got some segments to cover. So let's I'm going to remove the bald cap. Hashtag Mark Bahldberg. I'm taking it off. We're done with the film, and it wasn't good, guys. It is a 2 flame on the heat meter.
Like, how does that get theatrical release and not? I mean, that's perfect for Netflix and Hulu. That's an Amazon Prime movie if I've ever fucking seen one, and especially Mel Gibson, like, he's not well liked in the.
I mean, he was making a rebound. He's making a rebound right now.
Yeah, but he's still not
because Hollywood. Not with the old Legion, but because the Hollywood is crumbling at the seams. Actually, it's literally burning down to the ground. There are he's coming back around because the media's that whole thing's kind of that tide is turning. So, but anyway, this is not a good step in that direction at all.
No, it's just crazy. Like, he's able to still get things made. It's so fucking hard to get a movie.
He makes it himself. Like, he's not struggling.
True, but to get distribution and all that too. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Such a streaming. It's a movie that should be on streaming 100.
Yes,
fucking %.
Agreed. Actually, I would take it a step further than that and say I could throw a dart at 7. I could throw a dart at 7 movies on Netflix right now or Amazon with no stars, no notable names, and they would probably all be better than what we just watched.
Yeah,
there's plenty of good movies that have nobody in them that you can find now streaming. Like, they're not great, but they're better than 2 flames. Like,
there's a new Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx movie on Netflix, and while it wasn't great, I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. But that could easily.
I haven't seen that yet. It is getting a little torched, but I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to comment on that.
It's decent. It's decent.
All right,
it's fun. It's fun.
Let's switch gears and let's hold on. All right. Let's talk about the Oscars.
Yeah, let's.
I don't know anything about them. Christian's maiden tweet, which I don't even know if we can call it a tweet anymore on X. They need to come up with a new thing for X. His maiden post. Go check us out at on X at the Screen Gods. And what does yours say? It says no one cares anymore. Is that the tweet?
Yeah, it says the Oscars suck. No one cares anymore. Enough. It's
enough. Really hard to take your critique seriously with that bald cap on, but I love it.
I don't have I don't know where my hat went, but yeah, this thing is.
No, just leave it on. You're really committed. Y'all need a pilot?
What a shit.
All
line.
Right. I kind of loved it.
What a shit fucking movie.
It was pretty bad. Dude, fun though, guys. It was fun.
I look like, man, dude, my hair is so bad. I have the worst hat hair of all time. It's crazy.
No, mine's worse than yours. I just never show it. I'm not stupid enough to take it off.
That's why I was just gonna go to the depths with that bald cap. But anyways.
All right, so let's talk Oscars. Nobody cares enough. Talk to me.
Well, these Best Picture nominees, the main one is getting absolutely torched. But just listen to these here. You have Emilia Perez. Heard of that?
Heard of it? Nope.
Cool. A Complete Unknown.
Obviously, we've torched that on TikTok.
I mean, but
we've never seen it.
It's up for Best Picture. A biopic. I'm so sick of biopics. We've been through this though. Conclave,
which barely got any marketing at all. I saw one trailer for that. It was like, that looks complicated.
I've never heard of it.
I saw it. Yeah, it has to do with the Vatican. I think it does. It has to do with the Vatican, and it's like corruption within the Catholic Church or something like that, and just seems like not something that I would be interested in.
Yeah, I care more about corruption in there, U.S. Marshals, than I do. Okay,
all right.
Nickel Boys.
Never heard of it.
Okay. I'm Still Here.
Doesn't mean it isn't good, to be fair. Doesn't mean it isn't good. I just have never heard of it.
No, fair. Yep, true. I'm Still Here.
Never heard of it.
Ooh, thriller drama. Maybe I would check it out. The Substance.
I think we gave it 4 stars. I don't see Academy Award. I don't see Best Picture in that film, but but we've seen it. It was good. We enjoyed it. So, okay.
A Dune Part 2.
Sequel nominated for Best Picture is insane. No thanks.
Wicked,
which we all know is probably going to win. It'll either be the most obvious or the least obvious. It might be the brutalist, right? Is that one that you got?
Yeah, that's another one. And then Anora. I don't know. This Emilia Perez movie, I've never heard of it until today, but it's getting a lot of what they say Oscar buzz. So I think they got
Oscar buzz.
I got the momentum, and then also because the lead actor is a trans actor who's also up for Best Actress. So that's
okay.
They're definitely going to win for sure.
Yeah, because Selena Gomez is in it, and Zoe Saldana, who's been getting she got a Golden Globe, I think, for this, I'm assuming. Because Zoe Saldana is a name that, like, people know but forget about because she's not, like, a major lead, but she shows up in things. She was, like, all over my Facebook feed a couple of weeks ago when the Golden Globes were going on. Like, I think she won her first one or something.
Yeah, big Zoe Saldana. She has a show on Paramount that's fucking sick. Highly recommend. I forget what I can't tell you the name of it because of course I suck. But yeah. Anyways, we've only seen 2 of these movies,
right?
So I don't know. I just feel like it's just getting. I mean, I think it's been this way for a while now. I don't think anyone's really cared for a while, but now it's just like some of these like award shows. I think just need to be fucking taken out back, taken to the pasture. But I think Demi Moore, she's up for her first Oscar. That would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Chalamet again.
Chalamet, as Nikki Glaser says.
The girl who played in Wicked, she's obviously going to win Best Actress, though. That's the one you can really book. Probably over or maybe Demi Moore will get a legacy win.
Could be. I mean, that's what that's the thing, right? Is like when you know that they're giving these awards because either it's the extreme woke thing to do, or it is because it's the whole we got to put them in the Hall of Fame before they're not playing anymore, which is the Demi Moore thing, right?
Yeah, it's what they did with Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, last year when they gave her, I think, Best Supporting Actress for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Or whatever,
right? Which was like one of the weakest acting performances. Like it was not a challenging role at all.
No, it was definitely a participation trophy type deal. But guess what? Yeah. These are all participation trophies. But I will say, I was shocked that the director for Dune was not nominated for Best Director. That's pretty.
And this is the guy you've been telling me is kind of the up and coming guy, right? Denis Villeneuve.
Not up and coming. He's been around for a while now.
Sorry, not Dennis. Is that the director?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're saying he's getting snubbed or whatever is kind of the story.
Yeah, I mean, Dune 2, I feel like he should be in there if you compare to the other movies that were nominated or the other directors that were nominated. Anyways, who gives a fuck? No one cares. This is the mostly mostly movies podcast, so I think we're obligated to at least touch on it. But yeah, I was gonna see the Emilia Perez movie, but then upon reading the synopsis, I found out it was a musical, and I said not for me.
Okay, so it's a musical as well, really? Okay,
correct.
I read it, and it just doesn't say anything about that. It just says a Mexican. Oh, now I see it. A French musical.
Yeah, French. Oh my god! Even
how about this, guys? A Spanish language French musical crime comedy. I'm already tired just from reading that.
Yeah, it's obviously going to win. It checks too many boxes.
So this is the thing, and this is very similar to what the Grammys are, right? Which is like it's really for the insulated Hollywood elite. They're voting for each other. That's what the Oscars are. So it actually has always been this way. But I think it's actually gotten worse now because the amount of access to movies is so much higher now that in the past, in order for a film to win Best Picture, the general public would have had to have seen it because that's the only way movies were getting seen, right? Because there was no streaming things, there was no privately produced things. It was all big box office stuff. So now with just the amount of movies being made, and we're going to get into this because a little bit, we're going to do the segment of what we're looking forward to this year. And I perused 500 movies coming out in 2025, and that wasn't even the end of the list. So there is insane amount of productive movies coming out, being pumped out. So anyway, in the Grammys, it's the same thing. They vote for each other. It's not the public. They don't care about the viewers. I remember this. Someone told me a long time ago. Someone like who was like a little bit more mature than me. I think I was like 17 or 18. I was like, "Why these are who's giving these awards? These are stupid." Like I was like, "Who cares about these?" And he was like, "They're not for you. If you want that, you go to the People's Choice Awards, or you go for music. You go to the American Music Awards. That's the people voting." But in these things, it's like it's not a surprise that these craft movies that you and I have never seen and never heard of, they get buzz. It's like we go see it after they win. Now, you and I probably won't because I have no interest in a Spanish-themed, French-themed crime comedy thriller or whatever that is.
A French musical in Spanish? No, yeah. But I didn't know. And it's a wonder why anybody ever watched these award shows. I mean, obviously there was less things on TV back in the day. That's why they're popular.
100%. Yeah.
Also, I feel like back then there was always like one or two movies I feel like in the best picture category that you probably never heard of. It used to be, other than that, all the other movies were all bangers, and now I feel like it's the opposite, where it's like one or two movies like, oh yeah, I saw that, and the other six you're like, I haven't even fucking heard of these movies at all. And it's the opposite because there are so many more movies to consume and content to consume, yet I haven't heard of any of these movies. This is what we do. We fucking watch movies. I'm like, I haven't heard of any of these fucking movies. So it has become.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's become more. That club has become way smaller and smaller over the years. I feel like, I don't know, and I feel like there's just not as many good movies being made.
I feel like
basis.
Totally. Well, and that we're going to get into that because, like I said, I peruse about 550 titled films with little excerpts. I kind of, if you listen to our last podcast, Christian had this radical idea that all I want to see is the name of the movie and a poster, and that's all I want to see to determine if I want to see something. It didn't go that far, but I went through a list that had like a little blurb, very little blurb, but I couldn't see who was even starring in the movies or anything. And reading the plots of these movies coming out, there was a relative to the amount, and I stopped at 550, and I probably could have kept going. There's probably 1,000 if I would have kept going. This is through IMDb.
Did you read through all of these?
I did. I glanced through. I would say I glanced through 400 plus of them because I was just scrolling, and it's really easy to do. But yeah, I think maybe in totality, I might have got 30 that I'm looking forward to potentially seeing, and even of those 30, maybe 2 plots. And I was like, okay, that sounds unique. Otherwise, they're all things. They're just things. It's not that creative. Now, granted, it's a blurb. It's not that easy to see in a blurb, but none of the storylines and stuff. So to your point, excuse me, to your point about there's so much to consume. So my takeaway with the Oscars is it used to be that the Oscars was the result of success that a film had. That's what the awards were for. This film was really successful, and so we're awarding these movies. That's why they were all bangers. Now it is a tool to make them successful. It's like, okay, it's literally, I feel like it's promoting the movie. Like they're trying to help each other. Like, okay, we believe that this movie was really good. You didn't have the budget to market this movie, so we're going to make you Best Picture, and now people will see it. Which is fine. Like, honestly, I don't have a problem with it because, like you said, we don't care anyway. We never did. So if that's what you guys want to do, you're just flipping it on its head. That's fine. I don't care. Like you said, if the description of these movies was better, I might go see it. Like you were talking about, like what's that one that I'm Still Here or whatever, or even Nickel Boys. I don't know anything about that, but it sounds interesting. We go pull that up and see. So I'm totally fine with it. But you're right. Like no one cares, and definitely no one cares who wins. Outside, the public doesn't. We don't care.
No, definitely not. It's funny I was saying that, and then last year's winner was Oppenheimer. But I'm on the record saying that movie, what a snooze fest. My God.
What a snooze fest.
Yeah, definitely not one. I definitely wouldn't watch it again. Yeah, anyways, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's because there's just so much content now that there's just a sea of garbage and it's just hard to find. The good ones are hard to stick out. But I don't know. Who knows?
Change my earbuds real quick.
It's a combination of everything.
Yeah, so nobody cares, and
but going forward,
I think we've dialed in. I think we've dialed in what they're doing.
Do you think they'll like at one point they'll just stop filming it? Do you think that ever happens?
I don't think so, because like I said, they're doing it for themselves. They're not doing it for us. So as long as people still continue, I mean, I always keep waiting for people to stop watching the news, but yet it keeps happening. So
yeah, but it is weird. They got to be hemorrhaging money though.
I'm sure.
All right, yeah, I don't know. Who like
figure out why my get my.
There's nobody.
I always think my AirPods are charged, and then like they're never, like they die midway through the through the pod. All right, I'm back. Okay, cool. So go ahead.
I don't know. I think eventually everything's just going to be watched in clips, anyways. I mean, pretty much everything is watched in clips on the internet now. But yeah, it's amazing to me that there's anybody still tuning into these fucking shows. Anyways, looking forward to year.
Yes. Did you do your homework?
Yeah, I did. I did some research.
All right. Do you want to kick it off? What do you want to? How do you want to start?
We can cross flight risk off the list. That's not going to make it. There were a couple that stick out to me. Mickey 17. Did you pick this
I'm
one?
actually really excited. We're doing this because I think it'll create good discussion. So go ahead and tell me why you have that on there.
Well, it's from the same director as Parasite, which also Best Picture winner. And that movie's a pretty decent flick. Also has Robert Pattinson. I've seen the trailer too. I like the trailer. It's like sci-fi, and I'm a fucking nerd when it comes to sci-fi. So it's kind of not the biggest nerd, but sci-fi is great. But that's one that stuck out to me. What stuck out to you? I got a couple.
No, so I'm just going to comment on your list, and then I'll go over mine. So on Mickey 17, and again, I didn't watch trailers on any of these, so I was just going through the synopsis, and it looked like it was supposed to be some dark version of Mickey Mouse, and I'm like, it just didn't call to me like I really need to see that. Like it was just kind of weird. So I was like, not in theater, but I have movies like that on my list too that you'll probably be like, really? So totally cool.
Well, at this point, anything with Robert Pattinson, I'm seated.
Okay. All right.
The Electric State, Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, post-apocalyptic setting. Love that. Another one of my favorites.
Is that an animated movie?
I don't think so. No.
I saw the poster for it. Again, only the poster. I read the blurb, and there's like a robot involved, and it kind of felt like maybe it's an animated movie.
I don't think so.
But I didn't watch the trailer, so I don't know.
Let me check. I haven't seen a trailer for it yet. And it screams Netflix movie too, but I'm not sure about that.
Well, it's made by Netflix, I think. No, it's a sci-fi. It's a sci-fi, and it is not an animated movie. So
no, definitely some CGI. All right, that sounded interesting. This one I'm conflicted about because we've been pretty staunch on this program about how we feel about superhero movies. But I'm gonna see this one, Superman Legacy. I'm gonna see it. James Gunn's first movie in the DC universe, I think, since he's taken over. The trailer looks decent. It looks different from the previous, especially from the last Superman, which took the Nolan approach of making it realistic and gritty. This new version seems way more comic booky and kind of silly. So I don't know. I'm gonna see it. But
sorry, are you saying you like the fact that it's not gritty? Like we're going back to like it actually being a superhero movie.
Yeah, it looks fun. And I like fun movies.
I am on board with seeing Superman for one reason and one reason only. Desperately want to see DC succeed because I feel like there's hate for it, and I'm sure there's a million reasons why, but it just doesn't seem to make any sense. They have the same budget, they have the same abilities, so this is a good step in that direction, right? Because they're hiring a director who was in the Marvel universe and had success with Guardians of the Galaxy. I just don't understand. Like, is it just that people just don't like the heroes? They just don't. I mean, there's something to that, but I wanted to succeed, just so that there could be this like this elitist attitude of like, oh, DC sucks. The moment you say it's a DC movie, they're like, I'm not seeing that. And I just don't understand. It's like, give it a try, like, see, you know?
Yeah, and if it's even anything close to Guardians of the Galaxy that I'm in, those movies are, like, I think, in my personal opinion, the best of those Marvel movies.
We could do a whole show just on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, but those three are by far my favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued by it.
All right.
Yeah, and then
and the only thing I'm nervous about is that character's hair is just awful. The villain's bowl cut, blonde bowl cut is horrendous. So we'll see.
We'll see how that shakes out for sure. And they're all like, I don't know, no expectations for superhero movies anymore. But and then we have the last installment of the Mission Impossible franchise, at least starring Tom Cruise, because I think they're going to do spinoffs, kind of like how John Wick is doing that Cinderella spinoff. I think they're going to do something like that. Plus Tom Cruise,
but yeah,
I think you're going to have to kill Tom Cruise before he stops doing these movies. I just don't think he'll quit. But it's the second half of the last one, so definitely want to check that out.
Have you seen every Mission Impossible installment?
Yes.
Okay. I've seen, I think, 2 of the 7 or whatever. I might have seen 3 of them, and I've already forgotten which ones are what, so I'd have to watch them all over again to even prepare.
You should. The first one, I actually just watched it like 2 weeks ago, and it still holds up. The second one's fucking terrible. It's the John Woo one.
That sucks. Sometimes he could be good.
I mean, it's still fun to watch, but yeah, it's corny as hell. And then the third one though is with Philip Seymour Hoffman as the villain, and he fucking knocks that out of the fucking park.
All right, man, he was so good.
I know, fucking heroin.
Is that the one? Is that the one? Which is the one where the famous scene where he's dropping from the ceiling and sweating and all that? Is that number 2? Or is that the original?
That's the original.
Where he's in the spy. That's the original.
Yeah, that's the original. And the third one also has Michelle Monaghy or whatever. And she's always great. Michelle Monaghan, whatever. She's fucking great too. Anyways, that one's awesome. They're all fucking. All of them after 3 are fucking sick.
Okay,
I think so.
All right. Well, let's keep moving. What else stood out to you?
And then The Conjuring, the last installment in that franchise. We'll see. Yeah, horror movies are just, it is what it is. Those are the top ones I found. What did I miss, if anything, did you see?
So I have quite a few, so I'll fill in some other things that I think are interesting, and they're things that you'll know when I say them.
Fill in some gaps.
Yeah. So first things first. I think I got a total of there's a lot. It's insane how many movies that are making. So it's just being pumped out. I am interested in seeing Companion. And that's coming out soon. We've seen that trailer many times already.
Yeah, Jack Quaid.
Now, one thing about that is big theme this year. It's already started on Netflix and stuff with movies like the Megan Fox movie, the AI stuff. That's the big theme this year. Like there's 7 to 12 movies coming out about AI taking over, whatever. Most of them, I'm like, all right, like, I'm not going to see them. This one does look interesting though, Companion, and we've seen the trailer for that, so I'm a little biased there because I've seen the trailer and it looks intriguing. So I do want to see that. I got Superman. I'll come back to that. My comic movie that I was on the fence about is like, do I really want to fall into this trap? Right. But the first version of this was so bad that I'm like, I got to at least see if they make amends for it. And that is the Fantastic Four. So that is coming out. And again,
Pedro
Marvel
Pascal.
Is he in it? Okay.
That
doesn't guarantee it's good, folks, but at least we'll see. It does not at all. So but I'm going to see it. I think one of the biggest mistakes in the first version is the casting was just terrible. Like all of them. Like I'm not a big Jessica Alba fan to begin with. And the other guy who plays the stretch guy, he stinks. Casting was just terrible. So I want to see them.
Chris Evans was also played 2 Marvel characters. He played the Flaming Torch or whatever his name is. That's a shit. Okay. Now that I say Flaming Torch, that's the worst name for a superhero I've ever heard.
I don't know. It's not as bad as that bow cut to say Superman. I'll tell you that.
He probably has a cooler name though. And also his catchphrase is flame on. Hilarious.
It's just awful. Y'all need a pilot? Which line is worse?
Chris Evans, flame on. Jessica, dude, what are you complaining about Jessica Alba? Dude?
She's not good in that movie, dude. And honestly, she's a cute girl. I have seen her in exactly 3 movies. Like the Jessica Alba Rage, I never understood it from an acting perspective. She was in the movie with Paul Walker where she's diving for treasure. Okay.
Love that movie.
She's in a swimsuit.
That movie's
acting
awesome.
That's fine. Acting
that movie's
is
awesome.
Average at best. And then what she did the movie where she was on the streets, whatever. She's a basketball dancing gym rat. I don't know what the hell she is. It's
You talking Honey?
Yeah, exactly. See, it sounds like you're an Alba fan.
I've never seen Honey.
You know all the movies. You're like, I love Honey.
Have you seen? I've never seen Honey. Jesus Christ. She was in. Do you remember that movie Awake with Hayden Christensen?
I don't think I saw that.
And yeah, you did. I know you did.
Maybe.
And Terrence Howard. It's where
I'm sorry.
Where Hayden Christensen, he goes under for heart surgery, and he wakes up mid surgery and he can feel everything. Do you remember this?
No, I don't think I've seen that, dude. Sounds interesting.
Decent flick.
Anyway, bottom line is she's fine, but she's not in that Fantastic Four movie. Maybe it wasn't her, and I'm not. She was not the worst part of it. The stretch guy's the worst part. The head guy, just terrible. Anyway, let's move on. So I want to see them
Stretch
redo
Armstrong.
that. Yeah, exactly. The other one you missed that maybe you don't want to see this, but I'm really excited to see it, even though it's very obvious what's going to happen, but it looks very entertaining. I want to see Love Hurts. I think that's going to be fun. I miss the one thing we
Mr. Jones.
Yeah, exactly. We've now gone, I think, about 15 years with the kind of comedic martial arts thing went away. So we had Jackie Chan and we had Rush Hour and we had that phase, and then it died and it's been gone. And this is like a reboot of that. And I've always enjoyed those. I love them. I think they're great. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I think it's going to be fun.
That does look good. What I want to know though, where this guy's career resurgence came from. Out of
Everything,
nowhere.
Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah, but that's like one movie, and he deserved an Oscar. Like
I just think
he's been in one fucking movie, and then now all of a sudden, he's like he's the biggest guy in Hollywood after one fucking time. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, it's who you know. I guess I don't know.
Mr. Jones.
I mean, whatever. I'm happy for him. It's fine.
No, it looks good.
I want to see that.
I'm just hating.
No, it looks good.
I'm being a hater.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Let me come back to this. Obviously, at some point, Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out. I could see that at home. I don't need to see that in theater.
It's gonna suck. Let's just get that out. Get that out in the open. Get ahead of this thing.
It's gonna be a high risk for sure. That Michael B. Jordan movie, Sinners, that looks interesting.
I forgot about that one. Yep.
And then the other one was Novocaine, which we talked about already.
Yeah, it looks okay. Jack Quaid, he's another one too. He's all of a sudden that you're going to be in every movie, kid.
I like the plot because it is one of the more original things I've seen in a while. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. And then lastly, did you see Nobody in the COVID year?
I've never finished it. I've sat down and watched it like 3 times, and I've fallen asleep. Not that it's bad. I'm sure it's great. I gotta finish it. So I mean,
it's not even that long of a movie. It's the guy from Better Call Saul. The guy from Better Call Saul.
Yeah, Odenkirk. I don't know why.
You must put it on at night when you're exhausted or something.
I want to finish this movie. Okay, so Nobody 2.
Nobody 2 is coming out, and I liked that whole vibe. So now there is one other thing I wanted to say, that stood out to me. That was like, wow, that's a movie that's being released this year. Like, so this is my nominee for could be the worst movie idea that I saw when I was scrolling through, called Bambi: The Reckoning. Now listen to this plot. After a mother and son get in a car wreck, they soon become hunted by Bambi, a mutated, grief-stricken deer on a deadly rampage, seeking revenge for the death of his mother. This is a real movie coming out.
Yeah, so that movie is tied to this cinematic universe. It started with a Winnie the Pooh. So once Winnie the Pooh, I guess that I think it's, I'm going to sound real fucking dumb here, but I think it's called intellectual property or something, or it becomes
Yeah.
domain. What is it? Not, I want to say eminent
No,
domain, but it's not
intellectual
that.
property. Intellectual property is
But
correct.
it's called something domain where I guess a couple years ago, Winnie the
Imminent
Pooh
domain is the term, I think.
No,
But
that's
I
when
don't
they
know if
come
it's
take.
appropriate
No,
for
that's when
what you're
the
talking
government
about.
the government comes in. Eminent domain is when the government comes and takes your property and forces you to sell it.
Yes. Yeah,
This is
but that's the term. I don't know what you're saying.
it's something domain. Anyways, so Winnie the Pooh became available, basically free game. I can't think of the term. Whatever. A couple years ago, so they made.
It's the copyright protection. Yes.
Yeah,
The copyright protection lasts for 70 years after the author's death or 95 years after publication, and it expired in January of 2022.
yeah. What? I can't think of the fuck. It's gonna bug me. Anyways, so Winnie the
It's
Pooh.
intellectual property and public
No,
domain.
public domain.
That's
Jesus.
the term,
Okay.
I think.
Thank
Yeah.
you. My God. So they did this with Winnie the Pooh a couple years ago. That was the first one. But these are like low budget shit movies. So, anyways, Bambi is another one of those iterations that they're making.
Where they're like,
But yeah,
it's free
fucking
game.
hilarious.
We can mess with it now.
Yeah, they're gonna just
Basically.
Yeah. And so
Is
they're
that
like,
what the Mickey 71 or Mickey 17 is too?
No.
What is
That's
that?
just
Because it
coincidence.
looks like a dark Mickey. That's what it looks like.
Have you seen the trailer?
No, I just saw the poster, and that's what it looks like.
No, it's kind of like a Groundhog Day type movie where Robert Pattinson, for some reason, keeps dying in different ways and coming back. Or
Well,
he
you
does
know
some
what? This
job.
is hilarious. We saw this trailer
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
I think
Okay,
so, yeah.
the on my tiny phone. I gotta find this because let me see if I can screenshot this if I can find it because the poster on IMDb for this it looks like maybe I just saw Mickey and just did word association with the
That's
picture.
definitely what you did.
But let me see because maybe IMDb just put up a poster of like a shadowy Mickey and didn't. I don't know.
What the fuck were you looking at?
It's IMDb. I'll find it anyway.
By the way, the director of Nosferatu,
Yeah.
Eggers,
Yeah.
he announced that he will be directing Werewolf next. So
That movie's already out. It already came out.
Wolfman, I know. But so definitely looking forward to
Werewolf. Sorry, not Wolfman. Got it.
Yeah, but it's gonna be the same fucking movie. But I just thought that was funny. He's just gonna do all these fucking monsters.
Well, at least he's committing to a theme, I guess we'll say.
You know what else looked good, which is probably not going to be that good, but it's the Bad Monkey or the Monkey. No, that's
okay. I put
TV
that
show.
on my list. That's the
What
one
is
that
it?
I was
Monkey?
like, you might laugh at. It's just called
Something Monkey.
No, I think it's called Bad. It's Bad Monkey. I think. Hold on, I had it. Yeah, I had that on my list.
It's called The Monkey.
The Monkey. Okay. Yeah, I had that on there, and I was like, it's one of those that it probably is going to suck, but they're doing a good job intriguing me with it. So I'm like, all right, I'll see it.
Then there's also that war movie that I saw a trailer for. I think Jordan sent us that trailer in our family group chat. That looked pretty good.
A war movie?
Yeah, forget the. I can't find. I'm not seeing it here, but is it Valiant one? Yeah, Valiant ones. That looked pretty good. Accountant 2. Have you seen Accountant 1 with Ben Affleck?
Oh, and that's why I didn't put it on my list because I haven't seen.
You need to check that out.
The first one.
Yes, that's a good fucking flick. Yeah, I think that I did remember there's a lot of I thought good or at least interesting looking horror movies that were coming out this year. But I can't see.
Yeah, a couple that I had on my
one.
list. Monkey was one. There's one. I don't know if I'm assuming it's horror, but there's a movie called, and this one might suck too, just like many of these. But there's one called "The Woman in the Yard," which I was reading about.
I think I saw that trailer.
And the reason why
I did.
I didn't see the trailer, but the reason why it intrigues me is it's only PG-13, which means it's got to carry itself a different way. So I'm interested to see how they do it.
Yeah, I guess it's not a signifier if it's going to be good or not, but my brain always just goes to if it's not rated R, it's going to be dog shit, especially if it's horror. But
if it's suspense, it could be different. So we'll see.
True. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I saw. Dude, I can't believe I forgot about Sinners. That looks probably the best out of all of them, I'd say. 28 years later, the zombie movie. I might check
Yeah,
that
I
out.
was gonna say about that. I haven't seen any of the series, but that's because in my younger years, 10, 15 years ago, I wasn't really into that stuff. Oh, okay. I'm tripping. Just to circle back to the Mickey 17, I was conflating two things I saw. There's a movie called Screamboat. Screamboat.
Okay.
And if you look at that one, that's the poster that I saw. And I actually seen this trailer, and it's another one that I go, I want to see it because it looks ridiculous, but it's intriguing. So I want to I want to see it just to see if it's bad, which I guess is the theme. So let me
I
show
see
you this.
I'm looking at it right
It
now.
just
Horror
just for
comedy.
the just for the listeners and the watchers, like this is the poster I saw, and I think I conflated Mickey with this. Am I sharing my screen or no?
Nah, just your face.
Oh, just my face. Okay, here we go. This is the poster. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And so the reason you got me thinking about this is because you were talking about the public domain thing, and this is Screamboat is like a play off of Steamboat Willie,
Right.
which is the original Mickey, right? So I was wondering if it was kind of the same basic thing.
It probably is. It's probably in the same cinematic universe.
But this is producers of that clown movie, The Terrifier. It's that production company doing it. So anyway,
interesting.
This is interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Hard pass.
All right, so hard pass for you.
Probably, yeah. I'd say. I haven't seen any of the Terrifier movies, but I get the gist. I think.
It says I'm still sharing. That's hilarious. I'm not sharing anymore.
But yeah.
Anyway, so all right. I know we're coming up on time. What stinks this week?
What did I have? Oh, I had a Dune guy not getting nominated. That's what I had.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then also just one less biological woman who's being left out of getting an award, so a guy can get it, which is hilarious, but that stinks.
The Best Picture one,
Best Actress,
Best Act for, but it's for that one, right? The Emilia Perez or whatever that is.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty funny.
Okay.
What do you got?
Yeah, for me, mine was what stinks is as we've seen some previews over the past few months, it looked like it was going to be a really good year for movies, but it looks extremely top heavy, meaning that I don't actually see a lot of new ideas. So I'm disappointed that there's not a lot of, there's a ton of sequels coming out, which is like, dude, we're still doing it. Like, let's come up with some original stories.
All there is now, dude. It's all there is.
And so that's why the ones that are popping out to me, like Companion, that looks kind of original. And then some of these other ones, like Novocaine, even if it isn't good, at least it's original to me. And honestly, it's probably the reason why even The Monkey, it's like, I don't know what it's about, which gets me excited because it looks like I can't predict what it is, you know. So that's good.
You had a good point too about the AI. Every movie going to be about AI. I feel like it's going to be like how the devil and possession genre took over horror. I feel like it's going to be kind of the same type of deal.
Yeah,
or like they started making
for the next couple of years.
Yeah, dude, the possession and like demon horror has like that's been in control of that genre now for like almost 20 years. That's fucking crazy, dude. Because when did the first Paranormal Activity come out? Actually, The Exorcist. They've been doing these back since The Exorcist, but like Paranormal Activity was like early 2000, maybe like mid.
Well, you had you had The Ring, and then you had Paranormal Activity, and even before that, it was the Blair Witch. You had it was the same.
Yeah, but
it's been going on for a long time.
It really took off though after Paranormal Activity. Like every single horror movie, like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Yeah, like what year? 2007. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
And
but
what
yeah,
was
I feel like
wasn't The Grudge that too? Isn't The Grudge like a demon?
Yeah,
thing?
No, not like, I mean like
No?
religious. I mean
I
like
never saw it.
religious possession movies.
It's another Jessica Alba movie. Never saw it. Right? Isn't that her?
No,
Or
I
am I
don't think so.
tripping?
I don't think so.
No?
I would
I'm
know
just
if
making shit up.
my
No?
sweet baby was in it.
Maybe it's Jay. Maybe it's Jay.
Anyways, yeah, I feel like that's gonna happen with these AI movies. I feel like it's just gonna flood the genre, or every fucking genre. Dude, there's a fucking movie coming out about a satellite falls in love with a buoy, and I'm not. That's
Wait,
exactly what you
what?
think it is. Yeah.
What?
So it's I forget who's doing the voices, but it's like takes place in like obviously in the future, and like there's nothing left of Earth, but there's a buoy, and it somehow gets in touch with this satellite, and they fall in love. Hold on. No, I can't. I can't fucking. I got one hand.
I got one hand. Well, while you're searching that up,
Okay, it's called.
that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's called Love Me, and Stephen Yeun and Kristen Stewart. But yeah, it's just like the film explores the unlikely love story, hilarious, between a satellite orbiting Earth and an ocean buoy, both with AI capabilities after humans have disappeared. And it's like, this is what it's going to come to, this bullshit. What the fuck? But yeah.
I mean, I guess there's someone who wants to watch it. I mean, they're making it, so apparently someone wants to watch it. But yeah, I mean, there's this. Oh man, we could do a whole podcast just on AI and its culture impact. But that's not what this is about. So okay, well we're at an hour and 13. So
it sucks that that's the world we just live in, a world of sequels, and maybe hopefully we live to see the day where we turn the page, but it's not coming anytime soon, baby.
It's not coming in 2025. So
No,
there's a handful. We've covered a few. There's a handful. There is another one. I keep extending this, but there is another one that looked somewhat different, which is it's a movie called Until Dawn, and it says a group is trapped in a remote valley by a murderer and are killed, but they're sent back in time and forced to relive the night again and again.
Yeah, that looks interesting. I saw that.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay. So it's like, all right. So at least they're trying in some of these. But we got Bridget Jones. Were we still doing Bridget Jones movies? Incredible that series is still going. It's wild, dude.
Yeah. I mean, and another Saw movie. But anyways, we can go all night.
And another Avatar movie.
Yeah. I left that one off the list because I don't fucking care anymore. Dude, yeah. Anyways,
all right. Well, guys, we'll cover some more as it comes along, because obviously we're giving you an overview of the whole year, and every week we'll see something new. There's other ones that I didn't even get to, but all right. Hey, don't go see Flight Risk. Wait for it to be free. Y'all need a pilot. Yeah, and
watch it when you're. I'll leave them with this. If you watch that movie when you're deathly ill, you'll enjoy it. That's what I'll say. Just wait till the next time you have horrific food poisoning or diarrhea and you cannot get out of bed. You are bedridden. Throw that thing on and it will be at least watchable, I promise. But yeah.
Love it. Great advice. All right. Well, again, head over to thescreengods.com, guys. On my review of Flight Risk will be up within 24 to 48 hours. And
check out that Twitter X.
Go to X, look at our one post. Christian will fire off some more, right? I mean, that's you're supposed to go there every time you feel anything about anything you're seeing. That's what that's for. Isn't that what X is for you to just complain about anything you see, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, we'll do it.
Listen, you got to start with one tweet, and you do another tweet, and then another tweet, and another tweet, but you got to start with one.
We got momentum.
Start somewhere. Exactly. Anyways, thank you guys as always for the support. We love you. Have a great week. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
Later.